Chapter 397. Olivia felt a little unwilling inside. She hoped that she could continue to become Sean's lover, and she hoped that Sean could introduce her to more wealthy and powerful people. This way, with the help of Sean's connections, she would be able to get more contacts and gradually become a very powerful woman in Oris Hill. At that time, not only would she be able to obtain a lot of benefits for herself, but she would also be able to bring about a lot of benefits to Richard Group. Moreover, Olivia would also become a very prominent leader and figure of Richard Group. Unexpectedly, she was nothing but a tool to Sean. In an effort to obtain the medicine to regain his manhood, he was so willing to hand her over to Alan just like that. She wanted to continue being Sean's lover, and she wanted to continue living an upper-class life. However, she did not want to be a plaything shared among the upper-class men. As soon as people hear about her reputation as a plaything, then she would never be able to marry into a wealthy and prestigious family in her lifetime. Therefore, she quickly took Sean's hand before she said, "Sean, I love you so much and I want to be with you. I don't ever want to leave your side." Sean was very upset with Olivia at this time because he felt that out of all the women that he had played with before, Olivia was the least cost-effective one. Therefore, he was anxious to get rid of Olivia now in exchange for one last benefit. Giving Olivia to Alan would be the best decision that he could make today. After all, he had already lost his manhood, so he could only look at Olivia, but he could not make use of her at all. However, if he gave Olivia up to Alan and if he managed to find a cure for his illness, then he could continue looking for other women in the future. Therefore, he looked at Olivia with a cold expression on his face before he said, "Don't play around with me now. If I ask you to accompany Brother Alan, then you'd better listen to me and accompany him. Why are you spouting so much nonsense now?" Olivia had an aggrieved expression on her face as tears fell down her cheeks. She started crying as she said, "Sean, didn't you get together with me because you liked me? If you really liked me, then why would you give me to someone else?" Alan felt a little uncomfortable now and he said, "Oh, Chairman Richard, since Miss Olivia has such a deep affection for you, then please don't make things difficult for her anymore." At this time, Sean raised his hand before he gave Olivia a slap as he said, "You're just one of the women I'm fooling around with. If I ask you to do something, then you'd better obey me and get it done immediately. If you refuse to accompany Brother Alan today, I'll withdraw my investment from Richard Group and I'll make sure that the Richard family goes bankrupt immediately. After that, I also want you to return me the money that I gave to you. You should know what would happen to the Richard family if I choose to withdraw my investment." Olivia was stunned when she heard Sean's words, and a sense of humiliation instantly surged in her heart. What was the use of feeling humiliated? Could she turn down Sean's request just because she felt humiliated? It was very simple for her to reject Sean's request. She could just say that she would not do it. But what would happen after she rejected his request? After turning down his request, everything would return to the way it was. The Richard family would have to file for the bankruptcy of Richard Group, and her dream of being a socialite would be completely shattered. Therefore, Olivia could only force a smile and said, I agree. I promise to take good care of Mr. Baker." Sean sneered before he said, "I'm glad you know your own place." After that, he pushed Olivia into Alan's arm before he smiled and said, "Make sure that you satisfy Mr. Baker tonight." Alan hugged Olivia excitedly before he smiled and said, "Olivia, I'll get a hotel room and we can get to know each other properly tonight." Olivia quietly wiped the tears off her face and she was filled with resentment at this time. She was the young lady of the Richard family and she was once sought after by countless numbers of people. She used to be so haughty and arrogant. When she was looking for a boyfriend, she would not even look at a guy if he was not part of the rich second generation of a wealthy and powerful family. However, who would have expected her to end up in this state today after she had exhausted all of her resources?